Samsung Galaxy S3. The story about a very human phone. The Nordic smartphone market, early 2012. iPhone held the Nordic countries in a firm grip. Now Samsung were facing a strategic decision. The launch of Samsung Galaxy S2 had been a success, but it was no longer news. Apple was the most preferred brand by 38% of the target group, and the gap to Samsung was 12 points. Samsung held a 26% market share as a result of the success of Samsung Galaxy S2. And the market was waiting for something to happen. Rumors about an iPhone launch in May were surfacing, but in the very secret development department in Korea, people were working. The only official information was a date for the launch of the new phone. At this stage, it was called Project M. 6 weeks before the announced unpacking, a jet-lagged client arrived from Korea. He had met the development team and had been told a lot about the new M phone, though they never let him see it. The features were not focused on technical performance. This was the most human phone ever, a position owned by Apple for ages. This aroused a strategic choice. Should Samsung continue with the successful confrontation with Apple, or stand out on its own merits? However, the business objective was so clear. Acquire market leadership on the Nordic market, be a loved brand, not only for mobile phones, but for the whole Samsung brand. The media strategy was decided. During the campaign period, there were two other events that would interfere: the European Football Championship and the London Olympics. These facts concluded in a strategy where outdoor, print, and online were favoured. With one exception, Denmark decided to go all in on football. The creatives started to work. However, we didn't know what the new phone looked like. It was supposed to be the most human phone ever, but no one really knew what that meant. And the lingering question: did we dare to leave the world of safe technical comparison and start addressing our customers like humans, truly move in behind enemy lines? Oh dear. The graphic solution, however, was decided. Before this, every campaign, every division has had a unique expression. This was the first time the new graphics would be used on a large scale, in everything from ads to point of sales. We made a teaser ad to arouse curiosity and to capture the attention of the geeks, luring them away from the new iPhone speculations. Still not knowing what the new M phone would really look like. And it quickly became evident that we were close to the truth when the Samsung PR department in Korea phoned, asking how the we got our hands on one of the prototypes. We moved on. Now we had to decide on the creative path. The most human phone, it said in the brief. But what about the technical superiority? Shouldn't we compare it with the iPhone? Æppelmos was a wonderful success, loved by customers and salespeople. We had a strong position on the market, where Samsung almost equals smartphone. And now we had to launch a phone that was so much more than smart. So much more than smart. So much more than smart. Eureka! It was so human. And by adding very human characteristics to the phone, we made it accessible and lovable. We found our path. We added twinkle and a smile to the copy, referring to the fact that the phone is a very important part of human life. And that Samsung could make the coexistence with the phone so much better, in so many ways. We created a campaign with legs, a very human approach, indeed. And in Denmark, they focused on football. We went online, still really consistent and very synchronized. So, that's it. The results were so amazing. Samsung went to 26% as the most preferred brand, crushing the target of 20% and closing the gap with Apple. The Nordic market went from 26 to 39%. In Norway, Samsung had a 50% share in July. Sales went up by almost 200%. So successful. Oh, and so what about Denmark? Well, despite an ambitious sponsorship program, brand and market share were more or less where they had been before the campaign. Human communication prevailed over sponsorship.